I am not actually sure if we're done with all the interruptions. I am going to start again. Hello, my name is Jess and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about my February wrap up. So these are all the books I read throughout February. We have, I think, about 8-ish books. So I finished 8 books throughout February. I was going to be doing a to be read video for each month and then a wrap up, both, so the TBR video at the start of each month and then the wrap up at the end. However, my life has been chaotic. I've had to pause my weekly vlogging because Jess's mental health has just gone so far down. Today I actually feel and look okay, so I thought quickly, let's just do a video because I've enjoyed having more content on my channel. It is growing slowly but well. That's all that matters. So let's get on with talking about books because that's why we're here. The first book I finished in February is called Grown and it's by Tiffany D. Jackson. I don't have the physical copy for this book because I listened to it on Audible. I actually listened to this one on Scribd, I believe. So I'll put a picture. So this is what it looks like. This is the cover. I think the cover is stunning. I struggled to rate this book between a 4 and a 5 star. This book is fantastic. It is about a young girl that enters a singing competition and she desperately wants to become a singer. This very famous kind of artist is watching her perform for this competition. She doesn't get through in the competition, but he takes her kind of under his wing and kind of grooms her, and he does a lot of manipulating and kind of brings her on tour, and it's about how he treats her and how he kind of puts her in this really awful place as to where everyone else in her life is being pushed away and kind of closed off, and she's not allowed to discuss, like, talk to anyone. She almost becomes like his property, and it is about the effects that this has on her, about being in the spotlight, and it is just a fantastic book. So much happens. It is really gripping. I didn't want to stop listening to it at all. So I did end up giving it 4 stars. I think I gave it 4 stars because my 5 stars are usually books like 1 that I cannot fault and 2 that I would pick it up again and I'd want to treasure the copy or have a copy, maybe have multiple copies. But this book, although I absolutely loved it, I don't think I'd be in a rush to revisit. So I'm giving it 4 stars. When I put the book Grown into the crawl pile spreadsheet, spreadsheet, it came up as 4 stars. So I've got my laptop just here. So I mean, the characters, I didn't put them as the highest rating. I did love the characters, the way they were written. Just the characters were very good, but I didn't like a lot of them. So that wasn't too high. Atmosphere was tense AF. The writing style wasn't my favourite, so that dropped it down again slightly. Plot, okay, not my favourite. The intrigue was there. I think the intrigue was there more because I was listening to it as well. I think if I was reading it, my intrigue might not have been as high. So I think 4 stars kind of fits this book. I won't be showing you any physical copies. I forgot to mention this because we are moving house and everything is in boxes. So I can't show you any books, but we can still talk about them and we can still enjoy them. So I do have some unpacked books that I have started reading for this month because you can't stop a girl reading a book. The next book I read in February was called Stay Gold, and that was my Buzzword readathon book. I gave that 5 stars. It was absolutely fantastic. Such a good book. So Stay Gold follows two main characters. One of them is Pony, who is a trans guy, and the other one is Georgia, who is a cis female. And Georgia, I can't remember. So there is a bit of a romance between the two of them, and I really didn't know how it was going to end between them. I really could not guess at all. The end made me cry. I teared up so much. The feelings and attachments I grew to Pony was just, it was such a good book. So Pony is moved to this new school where he wants to go stealth mode. So he wants everyone to believe that he is just your average guy and he is not transgender. So it also deals with how his parents react to him and his name change and all this other stuff that goes along with being transgender. It follows new friendship groups. It follows the kind of LGBTQ plus community. It is fantastic. Such a good book. Highly recommend it. Don't want to say anymore. Just amazing. Really, really good. The next book that I read in February was another 5 stars, and I cried again. This book I cried sad tears, whereas Stay Gold I cried happy tears. Oh wait, Stay Gold, who wrote it? Stay Gold was written by Tobley McSmith, and then the next book was We Were Liars, and that's by E. Lockhart, and I sobbed so hard. I think I was already feeling emotional, but that book was 5 stars, excellent. Absolutely loved it. Really, really good book. I was so surprised Sam was getting rid of it. I have now pinched it. This book follows the family who are, I believe they are the Sinclairs. Anyway, this family, if we follow the grandparents, so the main kind of grandparent is the father figure, so the dad. The grandfather owns this island. He's got his own bit of land, which is the family land that they go to visit every summer. So this couple, they have, I feel like it's 4, is it 4 or 3? I can't remember. I think it's 3 daughters, and each daughter is kind of bought a house on this island, and then their kids again come onto the island with them, and it is based around Penny's daughter called Cadence, and we're following Cadence POV. She says that someone called them the Liars, and there are 4 of the Liars that hang out together. There are a lot of family issues in this book, and there are some in between parts to it where Cadence kind of makes up these stories that kind of give you little hints and little snippets into her actual family's lives. There is a mystery involved in We Were Liars, and the twist is just shocking. It's just, you do not see it coming. It's fantastic. I like that it's based around this small island, that there's a small knit group of characters. I actually thought I wouldn't like that about the book, but it is just so fantastically written. The next book is the next book is another audiobook. So I listened to this one also on Scribd. I do not have the physical copy. I don't think I'm going to get the physical copy. I am also not 100% sure on how to pronounce the author, so again it'll be on screen, but this book is called My Sister the Serial Killer, and I am kind of glad I did listen to this instead of buy it, because it was one of those books where I considered purchasing it and reading the physical copy. I gave this book 3 stars. So this book doesn't follow the serial killer because it is My Sister the Serial Killer, and for someone that loves kind of murderous characters, Dexter for example, Villanelle, The Kind Worth Killing, we have a murderous character who I'm in love with. I like following a murderer in a fictional book. So I thought her sister would be a character that I personally would really like. However, she was not likable at all. She was a brat. This is all opinion, however. So her sister was a brat. She was a spoiled character. She dated men that absolutely loved her because she's gorgeous. And then when things became not quite right, I mean, she'd always cheat on whoever she was dating on, and then when they reacted or weren't very happy with her, she would kill her boyfriend, call her sister, say, he attacked me, I had to kill him, you need to clean it up. And then our main character is working in a hospital as a nurse, and she actually tells a guy in a coma all of their secrets, everything that's been happening. Because he's in a coma, she doesn't believe he can hear her, so she just tells him everything. Not only this, but she has very strong feelings about a guy that she works with who is one of the doctors. Enter her sister, the serial killer, who the doctor has eyes for, and then you can kind of guess where it goes from there. And then the guy in the coma wakes up. So it is interesting. I wasn't that intrigued. I didn't like the characters. I hated how our main character complained non-stop about her sister, and then we get towards the end and she's still rooting for her sister, who she doesn't actually like or get along with. It drove me a little bit insane. So I gave that 3 stars. It just wasn't for me. Next up, we have The Binding, which is by Bridget Collins, and I gave this 4 stars. I absolutely loved the book, The Binding. My intrigue was high, the characters were great, the pacing was slow. Because of the slow pacing, I did drop a star because I think that did lower my enjoyment for the story because it took a while for it to progress. So we follow our main character, Emmett, who is told right from the start he is about to be sent away to become a bookbinder. He does not understand why, because apparently books are very shameful. Like, you should not read a book. Later on, we find out this is because books are actually memories, and they hold memories that people wish to forget. So if you've done something wrong or experienced something wrong, or have, you just have some awful memories, and you feel like you would live a better life forgetting it, you can go to a binder and they will bind your memories into a book. So that book is now made of that memory. However, that person will no longer remember it at all. I found the concept to this book so interesting. So interesting. Emmett, our main character, also finds a book with his name on it. And you know what? As soon as we find out what his book is about, my intrigue just shot up. It was just really good story. I loved the characters, I loved the place, and it was one of the first historical novels that I've absolutely loved. I feel like the fact that it was set a long time ago actually made this so much more intriguing. I loved this book. It ended perfectly, which really helped. But that was a 4-star book and I would recommend. Next, we have another 5-star. Oh my goodness. 3 5-star books in a month. Yes. So next up, I read Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a new kind of, not, I suppose, reimagined. It's Buffy from the beginning. This is a new series. This is all comics, so graphic novels, and I believe it's by various artists. So I'll put a picture up, it should say on the image who wrote or drew all of this. So it's Buffy from the kind of TV show that we all know and love. However, it's been put into 2019 and she's got earpods and like an iPhone, and they've got a WhatsApp group, and it's all modernized. We start off with Willow having a girlfriend right from the start, which I love. Cordelia's got a balayage. Great. It is really good. I absolutely loved it. And instead of Cordelia meeting Angel right from the start and having a bit of a crush, she meets Spike. I was all for that. I thought that was great. So cannot wait to pick up the next one. Next up, I read Opposite of Always, and I've put my feelings into the Coolpal spreadsheet and it's come out with 2 stars. I should have DNF'd. I really should have DNF'd this book. It just wasn't for me. It was so repetitive, and I don't mind a little bit of time travel. I just couldn't do it. So we follow this boy called Jack, and he meets a girl called Kate and falls in love with her, and he keeps reliving the first four months of their lives together to save her life. So again and again he relives these months and he is trying to save her life. And along the way he keeps making these changes that aren't helping his life. So although he's trying to save her life, everything keeps going wrong. I just got really fed up and really annoyed, and I wasn't attached to the characters. Okay, when I said 3 5-star books, we've actually got 4 5-star books for this month. I read Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell and I gave it 5 stars. I loved this book. This book I could not fault. I was actually thinking to myself, maybe I'll lean towards a 4-star, maybe it'll be a 3-star. I'm not sure where I'm going to sit with this book. So you've got fan fiction, you've got some romance, you've got some new life experiences, you've got twins, you've got such a variety of people in this small little universe, and it was fantastic. I loved the fan fiction element. I loved the relationship between the twins and how it starts out with them kind of going off on their own journeys to start college, and one of them stays in her room and doesn't want to make friends, who is Kath, our main character, and Ren, who goes off to party every night. It is just not what I expected, and to be honest, I'm not sure really what I expected from this book, but it's just got a piece of everything. It's just so adorable. So Kath just wants to sit and write fan fiction. That's all she wants to do. She loves her fan fiction, and she's got so many fans on her fan fiction page, and she doesn't want to make friends, and she's got a really miserable roommate, and she thinks Levi is Regan, her roommate's boyfriend that is there all the time. Kath also likes this guy called Nick, and it just takes a turn you don't expect. I just really think this is a book for anyone and everyone. I just think it's fantastic. And for a long book as well, because it is longer than I expected, but it is truly great. I could say so much about the book Fangirl. It would be a video on its own because there's so much going on in this book. To start with, I thought, okay, it's just about college. There's no really main plot, but there is, and there's so many layers to it. So for the month of February, we had 4 5-star books. We had 2 4-star books, and we had 1 3-star book and 1 2-star book. So there we go, 8 books for February, and I'm really happy with that. I'm happy with that number of books because I didn't think I'd done very well this month, and actually that's really good. Thank you so much for watching. My weekly vlogs are taking a pause for now because I'm moving house and everything is a little bit difficult. However, feel free to check out some of the vlogs that are currently up on my channel, and I will see you soon. Have a super duper good one. Bye.